Valzubiri here. I will show you how to make an orchid, or some orchids. I don't know. I don't know if one plant would be one orchid, or many orchids would be many orchid flowers. So we'll make. So let's set up our situation here. We have our candle. Be very careful with your candle. This is something that we did a while back. And so the kits will have 5 blades, but if you're early enough, well, I'll give you 6. No, not 6. I promise to give you 8. 8 of these blades. Okay, when you order. So go to Etsy. I'll show you how this episode. I will show you how these are our gold powders. See that? Well, not gold. They're metallic powders. Some of them are gold. Now this is Perlex. Okay. Now there's once again, you know, these Crayolas. There's Mermaid Shimmer, Pink Princess. I saw one neon. I didn't get that. There's our regular 24 crayons, and then there's metallic. So we have our we have the crayons that we're using here. I do not endorse one particular brand. Okay, so some of them are like this. See, this Rose Art, and then some are Crayola. Some are regular crayons, and then some are from the specialty set that they have, like this metallic. See. Okay, so so I don't endorse any particular crayon company. You'll kind of notice that sometimes, you know, like this one, for example, I mixed green with, I think, yellow. The yellow from one company, they kind of boil. So some it's probably well, I wouldn't say it's an imperfection, but it's a formula of making crayons that they have, and you'll discover this for yourself. So go discover cheap crayons and generic crayons and the more expensive crayons. You'll see that they behave differently, and some of them produce like bubbles, which is good, you know. So I encourage you to experiment and discover things for yourself. Okay, so now we have that. We have this. We'll use the blades, and we'll use some crayons, obviously. Now, what we're gonna do is I'll show you. Okay, let's do this. We need to cut our paper so we can rotate them as needed. Okay, so be very careful with the flame. Okay, don't leave it unattended. You're responsible for your own candle. Yes, I am. I never allow anything to distract me from my work. So just letting you know that. I was gonna say, if you're in a country that always has brownouts and blackouts, brownouts are when electricity gets cut off during the daytime, it's called a brownout. But if it's cut off at night, it becomes a blackout. And you know what people do when there's a blackout? They light candles. So there are people who are responsible and are used to our candle setup. Okay, so be very careful with that. So this is the match that we're gonna put away. Now let me draw how. Let me show you how orchid flowers are gonna look. There's always like there's 6 petals in an orchid, and they're kind of specialized. So there's a top, there's 2 on the side, and then there's 3 in the back. Am I right? Is that right? Or maybe there's 2 on the front. Okay, that's right. That's better. And then there's something that's a little more rounded on the center. Okay, so an orchid plant would have this. Oops. Let's cut that for now. And we can actually replace this because it's gotten short. Okay. So an orchid plant would have leaves here at the base, and then it'll have a long stem like that, and then there'll be a few buds here. So we'll do it this way. Okay. And then there'll be, like, let's say 3 buds, and then the orchids start growing here, you know, kind of like that. Okay, so same thing here. And then here, right? Okay, so like that. Something like that. And then, so we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now we're gonna make 5, because I like odd numbers for these things. Okay, now there's, you know, like there's this 3 leaves, maybe 5. Okay, and then 5 flowers, and then 3 buds. Okay, oops. So we'll do this, and we'll do it over here. Okay, so now let's we'll start with the stem. So there's gonna be, let's say 3 right here, and then 2 on top. Okay, so we'll make 3 flowers and then 2 flowers on top. Okay, and then 3 buds. So we'll choose our colors randomly. Let's look for ones we've been using. Okay, let's see. Let's try this, and yeah, might as well yellow. That way you can see the difference. Okay, when you, it's easier. These colors are easier to see. Okay, now we use one of these, and what is it? Paper towel, and we'll put this away as far away as possible from our candle. Now we can actually use this for now. Okay, and then we'll replace it as we need. So let's light it up. So we'll take care of the flowers first, right? So we'll do this. And we won't even bother cleaning. Well, this is clean, but these, they'll work. Okay, there'll be a little green in there. So yellow and red. Okay, let's practice first. So let's look at this. Now make sure that you're padding your table so it doesn't get dirty, because the colors bleed. Okay, so let's practice. Practice, practice, practice. That way you'll be able to judge the size of the flowers that you can make. So you might overestimate or underestimate the spaces. Okay, there's one. There's two. There's three. There is four. There's five. Okay, now we do the base, the lower petals. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. And there's five. Okay, now we turn this a little so we can do the other lower petal. One. Oops. Now you kind of want to match your moves, right? You want to match, make sure that they're almost identical in size. So this is, you're playing with how the flowers differ from each other. And it's all done by instinct. And be careful when you start splashing, okay? Okay, so that's our first. Now we're gonna use this for, let's clean this first. Okay, and then let's use this and another blade. Something that's a little fatter. See that? Okay, so we use, oops. So we use this. Let's clean up. Okay, good enough. Now let's just use yellow. Okay, so that's one, two, three, four, and five. Then over here, go one, two, three, four, and five. Okay, so now let's do the bottom petal, the one that's rounded. We go back to the other blade, because we just need a little edge. We need a little sized, smaller size. Okay, so we do, oops, let's make sure that we do it right, eh? Let's use the red. You just loop it like that, see? And 5. Oops. Okay, so that's how it looks. So now we look for a green. Let's look for a green. Something green. And you know what we can do? We'll mix it in with a darker color. Like this one. We'll mix it in with the blue. Okay. So we'll try blue at the bottom and then green on towards the top. So we need to go this way, and that way. And 5, right? 5. Okay. Blue and green. Not too much. Let's green it again. You kind of develop an instinct. You know, if you know that you need more color, then do it. Okay, so there's blue and green. And okay. See what I told you about some colors boiling and producing texture. Oops, this green and blue. Let's do the blue at the bottom. Although you can interchange it. Make sure we have a lot of color because we need to make them longer. Because that's how orchid leaves are. Okay, so let's do blue, green. See that? See how the green boils? It's because they're a different. I just put the green on the bottom and the blue on top. Made a mistake. That's why you need practice. And I'm videotaping myself, which is makes it a little more complicated. That's good enough. That's exactly how I want it to look like. Make it round a little, if you can. Okay, so let's do blue, then green. And we'll put it right here. Okay, so basically that's your orchid. Okay. Now obviously we're just practicing, so we almost don't care how it looks like. Okay, now here's our more serious card. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Okay, you have a choice, right? You can. Okay, let me show you. You can also do this. Do it in more rounder way. Something like that. Okay. So let's try doing that. So you basically eyeball where you want the flowers to be. So let's do that. We'll eyeball the thing. So this looks more stable with 3 at the bottom and 2 on top. Okay, so now we do this. So we know where we'll have an idea of where the direction of our strokes will be. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, let's clean that. So you just press and then kind of like do a round thing. Press and then do that. Okay. Oops. Maybe we need to clean this a little. Then much better. Of course, you'd expect yourself to be a little more careful and a little more decided with your strokes, because I'm right in, my work is right in my camera is right in between me and the table, so I'm just pretty much eyeballing it. There's a way to, as long as there's space for you to make corrections, you know, then you can correct your work. Okay, see that? Now let's try just the yellow. Let's use this, and we're gonna do this first and then this next. On the other side. It got dark. the see that? Okay. Now we can do the buds. We just need 3 buds, and we're gonna make it yellow. Make them yellow. Okay. So let's use the narrower one. So here's one for right there, and then here's another. Over here. Oops, too small. Dried too fast. Be careful with your instruments, especially the flame. Okay, that's good. And then we'll put one last at the tip. There you go. So now we need now we need the bottom petal, which I think is called the lip. Not sure. I call it the lip. Right there. Okay, now you want to try to fix, I can fix this one, hopefully. Yeah, much better. Okay, see that? Okay, now we need to make the leaves. Okay, you have 2 choices, right? You either go that way or you go back. So let's, initially I went this way, right? So we'll go from the top down, okay? Just for fun. So let's put in a green and a blue. And we go. Let's try putting in an odd number of leaves. See that? We'll do one more. Oops. Too late. Let's clean this first. Do one short one. There you go. See that? So you got to be artistic and practice, practice, practice. Okay, that's not a bad orchid. Okay, so thank you so much. It's been 30 minutes, and I hope you go to Etsy and get the kit and I promise you you'll be happy. However, do not they're patent pending. Okay, so you're the early enthusiasts, which means you're gonna get something that no one else has, but it'll just get you started. And don't judge me by the cover of the book. Okay, so don't judge me, because what you're gonna get are the blades, and I promise to give you 8 instead of 5. Okay, and then I promise to give you some scraps. I call them scraps because I'm gonna be these things I'm gonna be breaking up, and just so you have something to work with to start. Okay, but when it comes to collecting crayons, it can get you'll end up with a lot. Okay, so I wouldn't worry too much about the crayons. You can get them anywhere. But I'll see you when I see you, and thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe. And there's the practice and the nice ones. See that? So they're nice too, but you know, you need more organization. But this looks nice for a stationery, okay, or a greeting card. So I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and get your instruments on Etsy. I'm the only person I know that who is offering this, because it's patent pending, and we're waiting for the. We can't produce this in mass while waiting for the patent, because somebody might say, hey, you know what, you should discontinue and recall everything that you've ever sold. So that's not good. So that's why you're gonna get something that's very, very, very early and very very okay, but you know, still very rough. And I'm being honest about that. Don't judge me because of the roughness of the product. And my partners, we've all decided, you know, it wouldn't be good to like mass produce and then, you know, end up with even less money than we started. So thank you so much, and really appreciate it. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Valzubiri, and I'd like to tell you about the valzubiriagenda. So my idea was to self-publishing. You know, self-publishing is now accepted. It's been a decade, okay, and what you can do is self-publish your works, and I have an example, and self-publish your something about yourself, which is the best thing I can recommend is write your memoirs and your biographies. So right now I have four memoirs, okay, all different stories and whatever. So these are all mine, and I'm okay now. Just want to show you how you can one up the competition, right? So I was telling myself I can write one memoir, but somebody can do that too, you know. So before I came out and start promoting anything, I wrote 4 memoirs, and now I have 4. I can write more. Okay, now here's how to one up your competition. This guy has 273 works, right, Richard? So it's kind of like, hey, you know what? It's gonna be a thick book, and it's gonna be $59.95. So I said, I decided to shuffle his works. So this is his works, and I reshuffled them and split them in 2. So now he's got volume 1 and volume 2 of the same pages. only they're reshuffled, and now he can sell each book for $37.95. So that's something you can do. Come up with 3 books because you can, instead of just one. If I were a really mean publisher, I'd say, hey, you know what, I can only give you one book. But now he's got 3, and he's 72 years old now. We did this when he was 70 years old, 2 years ago, and he still cannot believe that he's got 3 books on Amazon. Okay, now I have 4 titles on Amazon. Okay, now because my art is kind of slower, I make dolls from porcelain, and I make them from scratch, and then I put clothes on them and whatever. I'd like to make a proposal to investors that I'd like to include a diorama to make my works like dioramas with the dolls, and then I'd be able to incorporate precious metals and gemstones into the work, and that's how I would like to justify my prices. Okay, now here's something else. Once you've written one, you'd want to write more. Okay, once you have this guy, for example, I designed this book, Jerry Miller. Okay, so he wrote this 2 years ago in 2014. Yeah, 3 years ago. And then he wrote a second one, and now he's 72 years old with his twin brother. And so basically what I'm saying is, once you start writing one, you'll get to write another one, because it's fun. And it'll help your art if it's a memoir. And so I'm gonna be releasing 2 books in January about this valzubiriagenda, and to give you things, give you some pointers on how to write, how to emotionally deal with your writing, and how to be a little more technical when it comes to publishing books. I don't want to show you Jerry's face, okay? But Jerry came out with. He told me he had a book, and I said, okay, I'll help you when you're done writing. He didn't. He didn't call me like until he got this put in to online. Createspace.com. Look at that. It's got a lot of empty spaces here. A lot of line and a half, and a lot of space here. It's not good, right? Look at the cover. The back cover doesn't even have the spine, and then he's got this design on his cover. Okay, I don't want to show his face too close. So I helped him. Okay, so now this looks better. See, now you need to do all these technical things. Be aware of these things, and I'll teach you. So basically, you're not even like a writer, and I'll teach you how to write, and I'll teach you how to become your own publisher. There is something else. Okay. I'm gonna show you and explain to you what goes on with publishing books. Look at that. So that's page 59. Let's go look at page 59 over here. Okay, see that? It's something to do with the embedding of fonts. Okay. See. So these things you need to know, and I'll teach you, and it's really simple. Some people think it's a mystery to publish. It's not, Okay, so there's something else too. With the valzubiriagenda, I am suggesting for people to double their price, make an announcement of their scarcity. So for every price point, you're gonna make an announcement of how many art pieces you're gonna do at those price points, right? Now here's 100,000 to start, because art is unregulated. You can keep doubling the price. And so if the artist says that the current price that he's asking for or she is asking for is $1,600,000, then everyone's price would be at that point, right? So everyone's potential revenue would be the difference between the current street value and the cost of acquisition. So let me show you that here. Okay, so this is the price, and the green would be the potential revenue. If this is the cost of acquisition, then this is the potential revenue. If this is the street market value right now. Okay, so now look at this. If the person succeeds, see that? That's the cost of acquisition, and then this is the street, the potential revenue, which you can report in your financial statements. That you have you bought something here, and now it's reached here. So there's a potential revenue, and that can be part of your report in your financial report. Okay, so now let's say you're a homeless person, right? And you're a street artist, and you're charging people at $5. So see that it can reach 2,560 in 10 steps. See, so you can say, hey, I'm gonna make 100 pieces at $5, and then $10, 100 pieces, and then another 100. So and then after this, you can say, hey, I'm gonna retire. Okay, so this is per piece. See, so there's money to be made only if it trends and people start accepting this. Okay, now look at this number. That starts at 100, and in 10 iterations, it reaches $51,200,000 per piece. Okay, now here's something else. If you get your pen and paper and try to do 1,600 pieces all the way to here, right? So this would be on here, it'll be like 1,440 pieces at this thing. Now the 1,140 first will be this street market value, right? This asking price. So if you look at that and you go like this and you do like 1,600, so 1,440 up to here, and then this is the price that you're calculating on, you'll get just a little over $60 billion from that one single artist. And guess who got in trouble for not coming up with $60 billion? Bernie Madoff. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if only Bernie Madoff contracted with an individual who's still unknown, who starts at this price, he'll reach like $80 billion less the cost of acquisition here. So he'll have a net of like about $64 billion, something like that. Get your pen and paper, and you'll know that I'm right. So what I'm saying is, if you're in trouble and you need money, and you can get it through art, and if you get something here, all you need to do is to wait for the next iteration of the price, and you can tell your people that the investment just doubled. And then you can resell the art for maybe if it's 25 asking price, then you can say approach your friend and say, I'm gonna sell you my art for $20 billion. It's $20 million. So you give a discount, right? And that's what happens. Okay, now you don't only give discounts, you also give commissions. If somebody knows a bank that needs a lot of money, and that bank can purchase like 200 works from an artist, then that artist should should give that person a commission if he can connect him or her to this bank. See, so you give away commissions. Now here's the thing. There are corporations that need money right now. There are national agencies that need money right now. And there are countries that need money right now. There are local agencies, government agencies who can't even pay the pension of their retired former employees. So they need money, and they need money creatively. And the way to do that is art. and make sure that you give commissions to those people who deserve a commission and deserve, if you have $20 million, you give away $4 million. That can set somebody for life. Okay, so I guess that's it. I'll see you soon, and thank you for listening. And follow me, because every once in a while I'll go live and then explain this more to you.